Hello, this is me again for this third video of the Christmas and New Year's update video for January 4th, 2021. Specifically, this right now is we're in January 5th, 2022. And right now it's in the low 30s, better than like yesterday, going up into, it was still down in the upper teens and low 20s. Yep. And now where we left off from the pre-recorded VHS tapes, now I'm going to show you like my old VHS blanks that I got for this past Christmas. Let's start with this tape. This is a Maxwell EX video cassette, about like 120, and some stuff is taped off the TV, and I'll show you what the label looks like. It has Full Metal Jacket, Hamburger Hill, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and these are the movies that were taped off on HBO or Cinemax in the late 80s. And it's a Fuji blank, made in Japan. Next one we got here is a Panasonic Super S, and this was from 1987. I'll show you what's on the tape. It has Look Who's Talking, Age-Old Friends, and it's probably this tape was from Scotch in the late 80s. And here's the clamshell with some stuff was taped off on that blank. On this tape it has Lady and the Tramp, Fun Gully, The Last Rainforest, American Tail 1 in 1986, American Tail 2, Fiber Goes West, 1991, and Rover Dangerfield, as referring to Rodney Dangerfield. And this tape was got to be made in the early 90s, and someone taped it off a double-decker machine when they take Macrovision. I used to have one of those double-decker VCRs that takes Macrovision. Yeah. Now I got here a Polarized Supercolor video cassette. This tape, this blank was in 1989. I'll show you what the tape looks like specifically. On this tape it has Enemy Mine, Bill Cosby himself, and Tank 1, 1955, something like that. 1955. And also, it has Hunk in it too. Something I had to rent out on VHS when I lived in Queens back in 2006. This other one was a Panasonic. And next one we got here, that is Junior Super ST120. And this tape has got to be made in 1987 when it was manufactured. There's a Fuji blank. On this tape it has Tiny something, everything, and also they'd have like the Lost Boys in it too. When the Lost Boys were taped it off on Cinemax or just on HBO, maybe it was recorded off the double-decker. Now I got here a Gold Star VCR blank. Gotta be made in the late 80s. And this tape, it has Gaslight taped it off on Fox 5 in the early 90s with Ingrid Bergman and Charles Bourrier and Joseph Cotton. And also they taped like conclusion of the second part of the original Godfather with commercials. I wonder if it was on Fox 5 at the time also. Maybe on maybe on CBS. This tape was made in Korea. I got here like the 1990s TDK blank. On this tape it has something I got it off on eBay, the ones that taped it off the TV. It's gotta be the one of the Christmas specials, like the 1947's Miracle 34th Street, Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Snow White's Christmas. From it's gotta be 1983. I got here like a Kodak blank. It was made in 1987, and this tape is from 1986. Like some specials have taped it off on there. Care Bears, The Land Without Feelings, and the Care Bears Battle the Freeze Machine. It was taped it off right on USA, Donald Duck's First 50 Years, and Charlie Brown's Christmas, and also they got more right on this tape. Yep. This is the RCA videotape, a lifetime limited warranty. That's got to be from 1999. On this tape it has Eek of the Year, Dinner Dance, yep. Somebody must have used a camcorder on it, something like that, and it's personal. Someone who lived in Pennsylvania, not in New York, that's for sure. This is a clamshell thing, and it has the women in Brewer Part 1, Part 2, and it's Karen's Carpenter's story. That's about when they live in right on Dead End Street or something like that. At the end of that miniseries, all the blacks were breaking like that dead end street, breaking like that dead end wall. I think I remember that. I seen it back when I was 5 years old, when it was taped it off the TV. Next one we got here is Collider T130, and it's like 6 hours more, about 6 hours and 30 minutes. Show you what's on the tape. It has the George N. Cohen, and that means like Yankee Doodle Dandy was broadcasted on TBS and colorized. The Boys Next Door, and Roxanne with Steve Martin. That was around at the time when TBS broadcast some of those Warner Brothers films in colorized. Here's the Scotch High Standard T120. That means like 2 hours. On this tape it has the original Exorcist. The original Exorcist is taped it off on WPIX 11 in the early 1990s. That was around that time they had Exorcist 2 was showing on WPIX, way back in 1992. And now we got here like a primitive guide, T120. It's a 6 hour tape. And I know on this tape someone taped it. On this tape has no label, and on this tape all I know it was the TB the TB edited version of Batteries Not Included on WB11 that has Jessica Tandy and Hugh Curran, which is at the time they had it on the Disney Channel for like a little while in October and November. Then they put it back on Channel 11 in late 1995, around by late December and early January. It's just a good movie, and also someone taped it off some. On this tape also it has like bad weathers, Like Bad Weather in New York I had way back in 1996. And here's the old blank. It has Dragon Slayer on it without the box, and it's a universal. Permitting, the permitting guide, something like that. Yep. That's all of my old VHS blanks. Now I'm going to show you like my new blanks that I got for the future, so I'll be taping some stuff. I got here a Maxwell GX Silver High Quality, and this is from somewhere in the mid-90s. It's never been opened in years. I got here like 4 JVC unopened blanks. It's gotta be around like the late 90s or early 2000s. Here's like another one. And then here's the third one. And here's the fourth one of the JVC. SX. Now I got here like 2 Maxwells, general use, like EX 120. This is around 1989. Has been opened in years, over 30 years. And buying those VHS blanks back then, it were expensive, even in Betamax, about $15. Here's like these other blanks, never been used. It's a TDK, 6 hours. It's got to be around 2004. That was when VHSs were fading out at the time. When they had this in Targets. And here's a Polaroid Super Color Plus from 1993. Now we're going to move on to the DVDs and the other format too. Now I have here a treat for you folks. I got here a hard to find Betamax of Tilt. And Tilt was just an old movie. It was made in the 70s and or the 80s. It has with Ken Marshall. Yep. And this is just an old rental beta tape. Gotta be from It's gotta be from Continental Video. And it's in Betamax, not a VHS. This is an X rental. And this tape came with that beta player that I bought it for the flea market at just for $20. And I've been holding on to it since then. I'm going to show that to you and much later in the other parts. Now I got here some wonderful DVDs of like the complete Abbott and Costello TV show collection. Yep. Originally, these 13 Abbott and Costello DVD volumes came out back in 1992 to 1995 on VHS tapes. On this first volume, it has Duck Dinner, the one they're having like a duck dinner. Then Helly Brooks' birthday, the one we're having a Helly Brooks' birthday. But I like one of the memorable gags in this episode when their landlord Sidney Fields tells Lou Costello not to play the radio after 9:30. That was the exact gag they used it with Ned Pendleton as a sergeant in Buck Privates. $1 million refund. Then Actor's Home, when like Lou was selling ice creams for Botchable Galoop, and then the same time when Bud Abbott ends up in the actor's home, and Lou has to get him out of there. But the only thing they had to do, they had to put up that show when they're doing the Who's on First routine. That's one of Abbott and Costello's best famous routines of all times. 1998 release from Sharoniki Entertainment. That was originally came out in 1992 on VHS. Now we got here volume 2 of the series that has a cover of Lou's birthday. The first one on this disc is Lou's birthday. Yep. That was when like Lou was having a birthday party, and then all of a sudden Lou accidentally gives their party guests ant paste. They thought it was like their hors d'oeuvres or something. But everybody was mad at Lou. But at the end, Lou decides to have like a big cake when he went to Botchable Galoop's bakery, a bakery shop, and Lou was having a big birthday cake. Then the next one was getting a job. In this one, when Bud Abbott tells Lou Costello to find a way how to get to Bugle Street by selling those squash and the hats, and everybody was tearing up the hats. That was the exact gag they used in Society in 1944. And also, I like the ending of the episode when Bud and Lou went to Fields' Employment Agency office. That was played by Sidney Fields. Incidentally, Sidney Fields besides Sidney Fields playing the landlord, Sidney Fields plays other characters on the Abbott Costello TV show as employment agency agent, music teacher, the drugstore owner, the gym instructor, then a lawyer, and a hobo, and many more characters Sidney Fields created it. Then we got Uncle Basil. In this one, Lou's uncle comes over after 10 years of reading it, and so he went to their rooming house. And then everything got wrong. After the boys got Uncle Basil's bed, Lou accidentally falls into the manhole, and also they got themselves end up in jail for that. And now I got the stolen skates when they're looking for the diamonds hidden inside of those skates. This is a 1998 release from Sharonaki Entertainment. This originally came out in 1992, when it's been distributed by TCA and television. Now I got here, all these Abbott and Costello TV show DVDs are unopened. Now I got Volume 3 in the series, originally came out in 92. The first one is Lou Falls for Ruby. In this one, when someone tells the killer's wife to tell her to go for Lou so they can have the killer going after Lou when they had to put him away for life. Then we got Hillary's father. In this episode, when Hillary Brooks' father comes over to see Hillary, it's up to Bud and Lou to save her out, taking her back into the farm. When Bud and Lou has to put up doing like a piano thing when it say "all right," that was the exact gag they used in Hit the Ice. The next one we got is Uncle Rupert. In this one, when Bud and Lou has the idea to fool their landlord, Mr. Fields, by having Lou as Uncle Rupert. Then finally we got Bingle's Trouble. In this one, with the boys were working at the pet store, and then Lou decides to bring home the Bingle the chimp, but however, they have to watch out for their landlord. He doesn't allow any pets around the rooming house. And that was so hilarious. And this is the 2002 DVD release, from Sharonaki Entertainment. The next one we got is Volume 4, when they have the $1,000 question, a $1,000 prize episode cover in there. On this fourth volume, it has their first episode in Season 1 was the drugstore. At the opening of the episode, they had Bud and Lou were telling about the Jonah whale, whatever. And also that was the one with the boys ending up working in the drugstore. Sidney Fields plays both roles in that episode, the landlord and the owner of the drugstore. That was so hilarious. And also, one of the episodes has Joe Besser in there. It's Stinky. You know I hate Joe Besser, and my dad hates Joe Besser, because he's not a great stooge and become a third stooge. As a member of the Three Stooges, Curly and Shemp ones were better. Square Meals. This is the one with Lou goes crazy when she sees meatballs in the Botchable Galoop's lunch court. All of a sudden, the boys want to find a job by calling a Fields Employment Agency office. That was one of the gags in there. It has Alexander 4444 That was taken from their previous gag they did in Who Done It, Alexander 2222. Then it also has like their twin sisters at the restaurant when they're doing like the gag called turkey sandwich and a cup of coffee. That was the exact gag they did in Keepin' Flying in 1941. And the best gag of all in that episode when Lou has to eat the oyster stew and he was having trouble to eat the oyster stew. That was the exact gag originally the Three Stooges did in the 1941's Dutiful But Dumb when Curly was having trouble with the oyster stew. And Moe did that the same thing in the Shemp short like Shibboleth Shellocks in 1948. Then we got the $1,000 question. In this one, the landlord, Mr. Fields, tells Bud and Lou to fix the TV. Yeah. And also, when they're fixing it, they were watching a game show when Mr. Fields receives a $1,000 prize. Then finally we got Wipes Want It. This is the one with Lou was trying to get the inheritance so he can marry a woman. And everything turns out to be total disaster. This is the 2002 DVD release from the same company. Now we got Volume 5 in the series when they have the front cover of the Chariot Bazaar episode. On Volume 5 it has the police academy known as like the rookie school. The one with the boys want to become policemen, but Lou Costello on the other hand is ruining everything. Yeah. It also has the Chariot Bazaar, like one of the good memorable scenes in the episode when the boys are doing like the lemon drop table. Yeah. And then we got here is the Killer's Wife, then Wells Oiled, the one with Bud and Lou receives the bad news from their landlord, Mr. Fields, has to sell the place because he's being sued for $100,000 because of his girlfriend. So Fields has the idea to save their rooming house by having Lou becomes like a oil man millionaire. So he goes for Mike the Cop's girl by accident. What an episode. This is the 2003 DVD release. Now I got Volume 6. It has the cover of the beauty contest from season 2. The first episode on the 6th volume has a wrestling match. The one with Lou's wrestling with Sticky's kid brother. Then we got In Society. That was the name of the title from their movie in 1944. The one with the boys enter into like society party. But the opening of the episode when like Lou doesn't have the rent from their landlord, Mr. Fields, so Mike the Cop arrests Lou Costello when they're doing the handcuff gag. That was the exact gag Lou Costello did with William Bendix in Who Done It in 1942. Then Lou's marriage, that turns out to be a total nightmare when Lou got himself knocked out by a policeman when he was involved with the gambling raid. Then we got the beauty contest. The one with the boys were trying to pay their rent for their landlord, so the landlord do their favor by being the judges at Mr. Fields' club for the beauty contest. And so there's only thing is involved with it, like by having Mr. Fields' niece to win the contest, and the guy for the insurance company was played by Dick Weasel. Want his secretary to win, and then all of a sudden Lou picks the wrong queen. And then I like the ending of the episode when the boys had to sneak up to their rooms to get the certificates off the wall so they can get their money. But everything turns out to be a total chaos. 2003 DVD release. Now we got Volume 7. It has the cover of the Fall Guy. This was originally came out on VHS back in 1994. On this volume it has Jail. The one with Lou accidentally breaks the some neighbor's bucket, and then he end up paying a fine. So when he was in jail, he was spotted by the hobo, was played by Sidney Fields, when he doing an unforgettable Niagara Falls routine. Then we go into Private Eye's episode. Then the vacuum cleaner salesman. This is the one with Bud and Lou was selling vacuum cleaners. That was like referring to the 1946 Little Giants. And there's the fall guy, the one with Bud and Lou has to be like girls' escorts. And all of a sudden they had to fix up the guy's TV set. That was played by Walter Catlett, the one who wants to watch the Bird program. And then the guy was fixing up on the roof. You might recognize him. That was played by Laurel and Hardy a foil character actor, Charlie Hall. I don't believe Charlie Hall was in this episode. One of the best known Laurel and Hardy foils. And this is the 2003 DVD release. Now we got Volume 8 now that has the cover of the dentist. On this volume it has Little Old Lady, the one helping the little old lady prevent her from getting thrown out into the streets. Then we got the bank holdup. Then we got the dentist, their second episode in the series. When like Lou's tooth was hurting him, yep. And then we got like featuring Master. In this one, with the scientist puts a spell on Lou, but never happens to Lou. It happens to Bud and Sid Fields. Like when they're doing this, when like he was about to punch Lou, all of a sudden it punches Abbott. And then like when Lou left the gas on, it blows the gas on Mr. Fields and Bud Abbott. What an episode. And this is the 2003 DVD release. And here's Volume 9 with the cover of The Politician. The first one we got is Politician. The one with the boys has the idea to sue Mr. Fields by abusing Lou. And also Lou calls him, "Hey, you want to be a baldy," and he beats the shit out of Lou by having the pictures taken. And then we got Public Enemies. Yep. Then we got him from Bed to Worse, the one there working in their yard, and The Car Trouble. 2004 DVD release. Yep. Now we got Volume 10 when they have Peace and Quiet episode cover. On this volume has the Army story, the one with the boys who are going into the Army. But one of the good gags in this episode when they're doing 7 times 7, like $7 a week gag that was used in Little Giants and in the Navy. And also mostly they do, and also they're in the Army anyway. Those the Army gags, they didn't buck privates, like the dice game and the drill sarge. Then we got the efficiency expense. The boss tells Bud and Lou telling their daughters not to spend any money, and then what happens? They spend on fur coats, then they spend on gambling, and they set the gambling place on fire. Then we got Peace and Quiet, the one with Lou was having trouble having a peace and quiet. And I like one of the good gags when everybody was in the nut house, like driving Lou nuts. That was the exact gag they did in Ride 'em Cowboy. And finally, we got a honeymoon house. A honeymoon house is the one when Lou was about to be married to some daughter, and all of a sudden, of their brothers makes their house into a crappy house when the house is falling apart. This is the 2004 DVD release. Now we got volume 11 of the series.